Hey Jenny, welcome back to the show. You won't believe what I stumbled across this week.
Oh, hey Mark. Always great to be back. And, okay, hit me with it. What fascinating rabbit hole did you dive down this time?
So there's this historian, Mindy Johnson, right? She's speaking at the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design, RMCAD. Next month, she specializes in the history of animation. But get this, her focus is on women's roles in the early days of animation.
No way, that's incredible. I always assumed animation, especially back then, was, a pretty male-dominated field.
Exactly. And that's what makes her work so important. She's uncovering these narratives that have been, pretty much overlooked. She actually found animation work by a woman named Bessie Mae Kelly that might be the earliest time surviving hand-drawn animation by a woman. Isn't that wild?
Hold up. Earliest surviving? Wow. So we're talking about potentially rewriting animation history here?
Precisely. And it really makes you wonder, what else don't we know? Who else has been left out of the story? We should probably start from the beginning here so our listeners are on the same page.
Great idea. Okay, so from what I understand from the details you sent over, Mindy Johnson is an award-winning author and historian. She's not just talking about this stuff. She's written books on it, like Ink and Paint, The Women of Walt Disney's Animation. She's received the Academy Film Scholar Award. I mean, her credentials are seriously impressive.
Right? And on February 11th, she's giving a talk at RMCAD as part of their Visiting Artist, Scholar, plus Designer program. Which, by the way, is such a cool initiative. They bring in all these creative minds to share their experiences with students and the public.
I love that. It's so important for students to get that real-world perspective, to hear from people who are actually out there doing the work, pushing boundaries, and to hear from someone like Mindy Johnson, who is actively reshaping our understanding of animation history. That's invaluable.
It's kind of like, when you're watching a behind-the-scenes documentary, and you suddenly realize all the work that goes into making a movie? It's like that, but on a historical level. She's showing us the hidden figures, the people who made this whole industry possible but didn't get the credit.
That's a great analogy. And it's not just about giving credit where it's due, though that's important. It's also about understanding how these contributions shaped the art form itself. Like, how did the perspectives of these early female animators influence the stories being told, the techniques being used?
Oh man, that's the cool part. Her talk is going to focus on the challenges of pursuing historical truth, especially when the sources are incomplete or biased. Which, let's be honest, is probably most of the time when it comes to women's history.
That's so true. It's like trying to put together a puzzle with half the pieces missing, and some of the pieces might not even be from the right puzzle.
What a great analogy. And in this case, the missing pieces are often the stories of women. So she's had to be a real detective, digging through archives, tracking down old records, maybe even interviewing people who knew these early animators.
I can imagine. And the fact that she discovered Bessie Mae Kelly's work? It makes you wonder how many other Bessie Mae Kellys are out there, waiting to be discovered.
It's exciting, right? And, this isn't just about animation. This is about history, about representation, about how we tell stories, and who gets to be a part of that narrative.
You're right. This connects to so many broader issues about diversity and inclusion in the creative industries. If we don't know our history, the full times history, how can we expect to create a more inclusive future?
That's a thought-provoking point, Jenny. It's like we're building on a foundation that's incomplete, and by uncovering these missing pieces, we're not just correcting the record, we're strengthening the whole structure.
And I think that's why programs like the one at RMCAD are so vital. They're not just teaching skills. They're fostering a mindset, a curiosity about the past, and a commitment to a more inclusive future.
The president of RMCAD, Brent Fitch, said it best. I'm paraphrasing, but basically these talks show students that they can achieve anything when they combine creativity with research. I just love that sentiment.
Me too. It's all connected, right? The art, the history, the research, it all feeds into each other. And by bringing in speakers like Mindy Johnson, they're showing students that history isn't some dusty old thing in a textbook. It's alive, it's relevant, and it's still being written.
And who knows, maybe someone in that audience will be inspired to do their own digging, to uncover more of these hidden stories. Maybe there's another Bessie Mae Kelly out there, just waiting to be found.
That would be amazing. This has been such a fascinating conversation, Mark. I'm definitely going to be looking into Mindy Johnson's work, and I encourage our listeners to do the same.
Same here, Jenny. And if any of our listeners are near Denver on February 11th, you should check out her talk at RMCAD It's at 5:30 p.m. Mountain Time. I wish I could be there.
Thanks for all the info, Mark. And to everyone listening, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Have you heard of Mindy Johnson or Bessie Mae Kelly? What are your thoughts about representation in animation history?
Yeah, let us know what you think. You can find us on all the usual social media channels. And as always, thanks for tuning in.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those creative sparks flying.